share, I'll share something with you that this brought to my mind, and it was from a book written by Alexander Solzhenitsyn, and the protagonist was Ivan Denisovich Shukov, and he is in a Siberian concentration camp, and he's talking to one of the directors. The directors called him in, and the director says to him in their conversation, "Yeah, I know what you're feeling." And Ivan says to him, "A warm man cannot understand what a cold man feels." And this is what that brought to me.
That's fantastic. And you know, Solzhenitsyn is another great. Yeah, please. Solzhenitsyn is another great example because, he skirted the line between all sorts of writing. I mean, he wrote fiction, he wrote nonfiction. Sometimes you couldn't tell the difference, or sometimes you were hoping it wasn't true. In the case of the Gulag Archipelago, which I still can't get through because it's so horrific in the tragedies that it outlines. But yeah, he's another wonderful person who's brought so much change to the world because of the power of his writings. You know, much like Ayn Rand. You know, there's J.D. Tucci's book. It usually begins with Ayn Rand. Well, yeah, you know, it's not titled. It usually begins with Ludwig von Mises or Karl Menger or Eugen von Bamberg, because it doesn't. You know, those are what a few of us usually come to later in life. You know, it was from Rand and from Heinlein. You know, those were who gained the converts for the most part for the libertarian ideas, and people like Solzhenitsyn. Yeah, we need more of the cultural push there.
Is this the right here? Okay. I'm Mary Vandenberg, and one of the hippie artists wandering around here. Me and my friend Jason are both visual artists, and we have work available for sale, for trade, for barter. So this piece here is called The Tragedy, and I've heard that word mentioned several times during this presentation. The tragedy is the name of authority, and this is two pillars that we put, some people put religious authority and political authority, and that is the true tragedy in human society. So the tragedy is the meme of authority, and this is a collage that I put a lot of time and a lot of work into, and I look back over it and I still find new things and remember new things about it. And we also do desecration of money and flags, and so I'm not sure how long we have this space, but we'll kind of line stuff up so people can take a look at it.
Yeah, I don't think there's nobody coming in here afterwards. Okay. So as long as you're here, yeah. Great.
Yeah. Hi, my name's Marcus. Thank you for doing this talk. Art is a very important subject, I think, and I, as an artist, I'm a visual and musical artist. I find that art is very challenging in bringing a true liberty message to people, because art can be very subtle, and that art can represent so many things to people differently. And so I think it's challenging for art to sometimes get the message across that we might want it to get across. But I think in that, what's important for people who want to bring more ideas of liberty to more people is to just be a good example. So I think that if people are cool and fun and loving and nice and respectful of others, and in those ways you can make people want to emulate you and want to know more about you. So by being those things and enjoying art and creating art, I think that those are helpful in bringing people to the message, because if people are the opposite of that, they're not cool, they're not nice, people aren't going to want to hang out with you, and it's better if we attract people who are cool and nice. So that's what we should be. Cool and nice. Bring more cool and nice.
Sounds like good advice. Thanks, Marcus.
So, are you doing this you're an actor full-time, or is that a part-time?
It depends on the month.
My basic question is, do you have any suggestions, recommendations for people who are looking to do art full-time or for profit so they can continue to do it and not have to make a living elsewhere?
That's a great question. And of course, you sound like an artist, possibly, or
I'm an engineer at the moment.
okay.
I'm working on it.
All right, good, great. You know, I think most of the artists in the room could speak to the fact that it's a challenge. But I think the fact that you're asking that question is a great first step right there. The fact that you're thinking of it as a for-profit endeavor. I know just from my experience, it's been that because I've looked at it as a career, it's something I enjoy and I care about, but I've always looked at it as a business. That's given me more longevity than most of my peers, who, you know, for them it's an art, it's strictly an art, or it's strictly an art ends up becoming a hobby, you know, because yeah, you have to think of it as a business. So it's a great, but I'm glad you're starting on the journey. That's cool, and there's no reason why you can't be both, or have have your foot in different areas. So I think it's cool. Bob Murphy, I know was here a little while ago, but he's got a great advice, an article on Mises.org that's advice for young people, that I read every now and then, because I think it's I'm not young anymore, but I still think it's great advice. It's great advice for anybody at any point, and one of the things he talks about is diversifying your income, and I think I just think that's always a great idea, because we never know which way the global economy is going, or our own personal skills and abilities are going. So it's definitely good.
I just like to add, he's not just an engineer, I'll tell you that. I'm a homeschool mom of 4, and I work with co-ops and kids in school, and unfortunately a lot of what happens is, we have to drop the arts because we have to pick up this and that and the other thing. Nothing wrong with reading, writing, arithmetic, history, and science. They're essential too. But we have to encourage the arts. We have to encourage the kids in their spare time to do art. Not, you have to go make friends, you have to be on the team, you have to do all this standard, regular stuff that it's very easy to get caught up into. But you know, if they want to sit in their room and design a Minecraft studio, go for it. You want to write a book, go for it. You want to just play your music, go for it. I just watched a video where Alex Lifeson, the guitarist for Rush, was getting dissed at 17 by his parents. Like, no, you have to get a job, you have to have a career, you have to do this, I want to play music. Can you imagine if he'd a coward? Rush would have never happened. That's just one thing. But you have to encourage that. If it is only a hobby, great, it's a nice hobby. If it is something that they can pursue as a life endeavor, that's awesome too. But if it's something that we want to aspire to sometime later in life, but we don't let them start as kids, that sends the wrong message. So I, as a mom and a teacher, have to remember that myself. But just in the realm of everyone out there, we go, he's just sitting there reading comic books. He's just sitting there drawing all day. That's sending the wrong message to bring arts alive to the kids, who eventually will be our next generation. So,
Thank you. Yeah, to tag on to that, I'm going to paraphrase Einstein, who said, if you want your kids to be smart, read them fairy tales. If you want them to be geniuses, read them more fairy tales. So the importance of that imagination, that creativity is huge. And again, just to bring it back to the movement, we're in dire need. So contribute your imagination, contribute your funds to help our artists here out. Tatiana, I know, has CDs. I'm sure she'd be willing to sell you. I have a CD on, if you like H.L. Mencken and Henrik Ibsen, you'll love Mencken's talk on Ibsen. I found one person in the world who is actually interested in besides me. So